So it starts with tree. And to get into tree, you really want to find all of your parts accountable and accounted for down into the earth and rebounding back up out of it. 2 feet firmly first and awareness of both arms. So again, you have all of your limbs orienting around center. That's where the support for you being an upright human lives. And that's whether you're upright or side lying or on your back or on your belly. So you could choose which foot upon which you want to stand first. I'm going to stand on my right and pick up my left for tree. So y'all know too that tree can be down at the ankle. Maybe I'll just face this way for a minute. Down at the ankle, it can be on the calf. It can also be all the way up into your inner thigh, skipping the knee joint, wherever you choose to put that foot. And I really like this sense of the bottom of the foot, the sole of the foot, pressing into the inner thigh, and the inner thigh pressing into the sole of the foot, because there's that midline channel that we can tap into. So I'm going to promote 5 breaths here. I've already been talking through a whole bunch of them, but we'll go with a nice inhale and exhale. Hands can be wherever you find them most helpful. Inhale, 2. And exhale, 2. I may not stick with the breath counting the whole time. I'm going to suggest that you find what works for you. Still feeling that sense of the one floor foot down and rebounding up through. Lovely. On this 5th breath, just for fun, what if you sat into tree? So I don't know, maybe you could call this a little tree stump. So for sure, quads want to do all of this work, but how can you find from all parts of your foot, again, not just to midline, but now also up the back chain here, and it has a lot to do with how your pelvis is placed, in terms of that same neutral pelvis that we might want any other time of our day. Breathing here. When I have tunes on, sometimes this becomes dancing tree stump. You can do whatever you like here. Getting down with tree. Good. So when you feel you've had enough of tree, and its auxiliary, seeing if you can keep the foot still in the air. We will rotate whether you are on your left or your right side here, and take it right back behind you into a warrior 3. Let's see if I can turn this. Great. So here, noticing what you notice about your rib cage tendency and that pelvis. Typically the back leg hip point wants to rotate up a little bit. Bending that standing knee as much or as little as you care to see if you can really wrap the inseam of that air leg. Again, you can have hands at heart center. You can have hands back behind. Breathing deeply, inhaling and exhaling on your rhythm. Slowing it down as much as you can to play with it. Find to breathe fast. Just noticing whether you could lengthen those breath cycles at all. Maybe even a pause after each inhale and exhale. Lovely. Little burn, baby burn going in that standing leg. Then you're going to slowly come up and take that free floating foot into opposite hand. Hand wraps around the outside edge of the foot. This is a nice moment of pause to regroup around midline. If it is available to you, you could certainly use a strap. You're going to extend that straight leg out in front. Now you could also be holding it underneath, and there's nothing that says it has to be fully extended. You could certainly hold at the back of the thigh. If it's there for you, taking that long leg out in front. Vacuuming the thigh bone, you'll see this on the other side a little more clearly, back into the pelvis. So even with this rotation, you're keeping the back of the pelvis as square as can be so that you can rotate around your own axis. This is where sometimes my gaze can go, sometimes it can't. You'll play with it too. Helps if I breathe, since I'm making that the whole point of this thing, right? Breath. How do we orient around our breath in stillness and in motion? Ta-da! Graceful dismount on side one. Your standing leg has all kinds of things to say up through that outer edge of the calf, up the back of the calf, in all those little ankle stabilizers. We'll take a quick reset in the center. Doesn't have to be quick when you do it. Regroup. Notice what you notice about the blood flow through both sides, both legs, and what feedback that's giving you back up from the earth through your body. Double check your jaw. And when you're ready, heading into side two, all the same things, but now with new awareness from having done it once already. So picking up the foot either to the ankle, the calf, or the thigh, using that midline information to orient around. Softening that standing knee just enough that it's not locked out. Double checking that neutral pelvis here. We want that natural lumbar curve to be present. And we can really recruit from within instead of clamping down with the external muscles only. They'll work plenty. Finding that good breath here. However many cycles you like. Feeling perhaps that you could place your own hand on the top of your head gently and lift up into it with just enough awareness of the down. So it's very much this oppositional feel. That you could just extend that little smidge taller with that awareness from the top of your head. If you're taking the tree stump option here, sitting into your tree, you might want to change where the leg is for this one. It might want to come across the hip. It might want to come back down toward the floor. Again, we're just playing with what might be possible. And really checking out that the toes themselves are not hyper gripping the mat or the floor, but that they could even pick up and you're really into the ball of the foot, the heel of the foot. You have arch awareness. And whatever arms here suit you. Sometimes I like to take them back behind. And then I have extra awareness of what's going on in my trunk. Coming up out of that when you're ready, and here's the better angle then for warrior three. Knee straightening towards straight-ish, micro bend still, or really bent, whatever feels supportive. Of course you can have blocks here, or a chair in front of you, or your hand on the wall, or your foot all the way down touching the floor, right? Can do. Finding what works for you. That standing leg will get plenty of work no matter where you are with your other limbs. Just trying to keep it oriented around midline for that core support. Pausing, recentering, taking that front leg out if you want. Again, remembering that you can do this with a strap. You have the option of holding back here with a bent leg. You have the option of staying right here with your foot in your hand. If it's available and you want to play, arm out, leg out. I kind of tend to think of this one with a little time dimension. Think of this back hand as reaching back into the past a little bit. That front leg represents future forward. And really what it's all about is being right present in this now, down through the leg, into the earth, up through my trunk, through to the cosmos, and my breath. So you're going to want to give your feet and your shins and your calves a little love after all of that. You can play with point and flex. You can come up over the tops of the toes, only if your feet say so. If they don't like that, you can make air fists with your feet, and you can make little circles in the air or wherever. Having a seat is lovely, and coming into a little bound angle, self-massage. I'm all about the feet anyway, and maybe there'll be a separate little clip about that to play with too. Thanks.